Whip out your web shooters because we're talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day. And not just that, we're talking about some brand new 4K movies that I picked up over the last couple of weeks, including this epic, majestic, magical, and mystical box set of the entire series of Stranger Things on 4K Blu-ray. Yes, indeed. The big one. I cannot wait to unbox this with you guys, so we're going to do that a little bit later in the live show. I got a few other brand new 4K titles to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining me on this glorious Thursday night. And if you guys have seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, make sure you get those thoughts in at the segment where we talk about the movie, because we're going to dive into Spider-Man Brand New Day without any spoilers. I'm just going to tell you my quick thoughts on the movie. And if you missed my first reaction to the movie, I shot that in a parking garage with my good buddy Austin Burke in Columbus, Ohio, a few days ago when I got to attend an early screening of the movie. It was kind of a crazy week. I bought a new vehicle. I bought a truck. I'm solidifying my manhood finally. And I've been wanting a truck for a very long time. It's just nice to be able to transport things. It's like, oh, I have this large item. Let me put it in the back of my truck. Now I can take it from point A to point B. But anyway, I drove to Columbus, Ohio, which is like 3 hours away from my house to pick up this new truck. And then 2 hours later, I had a press screening of Spider-Man Brand New Day. So it just felt like it was all meant to be and a lot was happening. So without further ado, what do you guys say? And by the way, thank you guys for joining me. I got some YouTube members in here. Sebastian says it took The Odyssey 12 days to reach $700 million. The Odyssey is one of those weird phenomenons, and this is why the internet is just so exhausting at this point in life. I don't even care what people say. It's just digital noise. Now, I like you guys. You guys are the only people on the internet I care about. You matter. Your opinions actually matter. But when it came to The Odyssey, I saw that early, and everyone, because I liked the movie, just crapped on my face. It was like two girls and one guy reviewing the Odyssey. If you get that reference, good for you. But anyway, and then the movie comes out. And then people realize, oh, it's kind of a good movie. And then that chatter just slowly dies down. It's odd. The people with the strongest opinions about something are the same people who have not seen the thing that they're talking about or criticizing or trying to form an opinion on. I don't know. Call me crazy, but doesn't that just make you stupid? Anyway, guys, yeah, the Odyssey's a good time. Sebastian also says, seems like the Odyssey will become Nolan's biggest hit. It just may. In all fairness, though, had The Dark Knight come out right now, with ticket prices being the way they are, with a majority of lackluster cinematic experiences that we're inundated with on a weekly basis at the cinema, if something like The Dark Knight had just been crapped out of Nolan right now, I feel like that would be doing even better numbers. I really do. But good for the Odyssey. You know, it's nice to see a real movie up on the big screen. Even if you don't love every single minute detail about it, it's still a 3-hour movie, you know, and I would say 95% of it was great. All right. John is the Johnniest of boys. I will take it. Thank you, sir. And by the way, I got a large supply of party poppers. This is it. Don't get scared. Right before the live show, I drove to Walmart. I know. I had to take a little personal flick trip to Walmart amongst the unwashed masses. And what I do when I go into Walmart to buy these party poppers, because we need these blockbuster bukakis on the live show, or else what are we doing here? I speed walk through Walmart. I don't make eye contact. I don't touch anything. I pick up what I need and I sprint to the front of the store, and then I run out and do a cartwheel, a backflip, and get into my vehicle and get out of the parking lot going 88 miles per hour. But anyway, guys, gonna watch The Northman for my first time tonight. Well, hey, have a good time with that. I watched it once. I enjoyed it. John, please be my friend. I am your friend. I'm your only friend. That's what we're doing here right now. This is called bonding time. But first, let me crack open this delicious zero sugar Dr. Pepper. That is the nectar of the gods. Did I smell the bike tires? No, I did not. They just don't smell like they used to. All right, guys, what do you say we dive into the main topic of the night? And let me get ready for this. I have no notes prepared. I don't know what I'm really going to say about this movie, but we'll just make it up as we go. So I saw the brand new Marvel movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I've been looking forward to this movie for quite some time. Now, when it comes to the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, I think the majority of them are pretty entertaining. I thought Spider-Man Homecoming was pretty good. I think Michael Keaton being the Vulture in that movie really elevated it. It did get bogged down with the Marvel-esque stuff and Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man sort of feeling like little Tony Stark Jr., and I did not like those early incarnations of the spider suit. He had a billion features. He had armor-plated things. He had lasers that would shoot out of it. Like, that's not Spider-Man. I just want to watch a teenage boy in spandex swing around New York City trying to save the day and balance his social life on the side. That's what I like about Spider-Man. Simple is always better. Then when it comes to Spider-Man Far From Home, I wanted to like that movie much, much more than I did. And I really was excited to see Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio in that movie. I think he's a great actor, maybe one of my favorites. And I think the character Mysterio is also pretty cool. But ultimately, I was sort of disappointed with everything that they did. I also thought the European backdrop in that movie just didn't make it feel like a Spider-Man movie. It was kind of boring. And ultimately, it felt like Spider-Man was fighting DJI drones for the finale of the movie. And then when it comes to Spider-Man No Way Home, the last hour of that movie, where all three Spider-Men team up to save the day, that was a complete nerdgasm. That is something of pure fan fiction that you would read on a Reddit forum at 1 o'clock in the morning in your underwear when you can't sleep. So the last hour of that film I thought was epic, phenomenal, and I loved every single second of it. It was a nerdgasm, if you will. So, when it comes to Spider-Man Brand New Day, it does feel like a brand new day for the most part. It does feel like in this film, Peter Parker is picking up the pieces that were shattered and left behind in No Way Home. And I like this version of Spider-Man and Peter Parker. I like when he's just a solitude dude living in his crappy apartment trying to get by. That's the kind of stuff I like. Call me crazy. I don't like an overly social Spider-Man. I like to see just some lonely dude in his apartment who's a vigilante. And it almost becomes to the point where his real personality is Spider-Man because he's not happy with his personal life. So that vigilante aspect takes over. And I think that's great. That's the kind of version of this character I want to see more of. Now let's talk about some things I really enjoyed with this movie before we get into the negatives. And I know someone's going to say, John, you don't like anything. Well, I like a lot of things, and I would say overall I really liked this new Spider-Man movie, but I definitely didn't love it. It's far from perfect, okay? So I'm not going to blow Marvel too hard in this video, even though I feel like the majority of reviews being crapped out right now probably will, and then after a week or two, the hype will slowly fade down, and then you'll get some real nuanced opinions on the film. Or at least I hope we do. So a few things that I liked about Spider-Man Brand New Day is everything revolving around Peter Parker and just Spider-Man, the character and his friends and his ex-girlfriend and picking up those pieces. I like those aspects. I liked the character arc that he sort of goes through. I like those character moments that you have with Peter Parker. I thought all of those moments in this film were some of the highlights of the movie. And I wanted more of those. I almost feel like we should have gotten more of them. I wish we would have gotten more of those moments. But ultimately, this is a Marvel movie. So you sort of get half the movie that you should, and then the other half is like building up other characters and other plot points and upcoming movies in the future. Because we got to put all that in this movie alongside all of those beautiful character moments with Peter Parker. And it's all those secondary things that I just mentioned where they're building up other characters and the future of the MCU and what's to come, where I really thought it took away from that central plot that I just wanted to see. And I think everyone going into this new Spider-Man movie with the way that No Way Home left off, that's the Spider-Man movie everyone wanted to see. We wanted to see that street level sort of grittiness Spider-Man. He's just a broke ass kid trying to save the day. And I wanted more of it. There's also a multitude of really cool action sequences in this film. Now, some of them you would have seen in the trailer, just small snippets of them in the trailer. So when I say a few examples, it's not spoiling anything. They're literally in the trailer. There's an awesome fight scene where Spider-Man's going there's a great epic fight sequence where Spider-Man's going up against the hand. I keep wanting to call them the foot. I'm just a huge TMNT fan. But anyway, that was a really great sequence. And it also contains one of those awesome, sort of cliche, epic superhero moments. You know, where the hero's all down and out and a little bit bloody. You got one little blood trickle on the lip. You know what I'm talking about. They always do it. One little bloody lip. That's all they ever do. And then he's down and out and he rises up with the music swelling up. That was really cool. Also, you've also seen this in the trailer, so it's not a spoiler. Don't get mad at me. Spider-Man fights the Hulk. And that lasts for, 3, 4, 5 minutes, and it's a pretty cool scene. I do have a few complaints with it, but I will save that for a spoiler video, which I already shot in the parking garage outside of the movie theater immediately after the movie, where I'm all hot and sweaty, so look out for that video tomorrow. It's a good time. Now, a few other things that I enjoyed about this movie was I loved the dynamic between Peter Parker and his ex-best friend Ned and his ex-lady friend Zendaya MJ. There are some great touching moments between these characters. And I thought the way that the sort of brought things back around, it felt earned. It didn't feel shoehorned into the plot. And they took their time with it. I liked that. Also, not everything is perfect by the end of this movie, and I also quite enjoyed that. They didn't wrap up every loose end. There's still things that can happen in future installments of new Spider-Man movies, and I'm sure other Avengers movies and other superhero movies. You guys know how this goes. But anyway, I liked those aspects about the movie as well. I thought those character moments were some of the highlights of the movie once again. Now let's talk about a few things that I didn't necessarily love. Oh, actually, let me say one more thing. One other thing I did sort of enjoy was the buddy team up between Spider-Man and the Punisher, played by John Bernthal. Hey kid, come here. Now listen. I'm a tough guy. My family's dead. I'm mad at everybody, but I got a soft heart right here, kid. Okay. I thought some of those moments were kind of fun, and by the end of the movie, I think you get a real nice payoff between both characters, which I quite enjoyed. And if any character that is located in New York City wants to team up with Spider-Man, I feel like the Punisher is a good fit. I like that contrast between both of the characters. I think it really works with both of them. But John Bernthal, I love the dude, but he plays the same guy in every movie. Like, he was just in The Odyssey, and he was just in Spider-Man Brand New Day, and he plays the exact same character. He goes from a king to a vigilante, and I don't know the difference. But hey, nevertheless, I do like the dude quite a bit. Okay, now let's talk about a few things I didn't necessarily love with Spider-Man Brand New Day. Like I previously mentioned, this movie throws a lot at you. It shoots a lot of web all over the place. And some of it sticks and some of it doesn't. Now, the main antagonist of this film, for me, I was sort of underwhelmed, and I thought halfway through the film, I was sort of tired of watching this. Because the way that this is executed is you don't really immediately get introduced to your main antagonist. You sort of see it in other ways presented throughout the film. And it just, after a while, it just became kind of goofy and a little bit cringy. And I was like, can we stop doing this? And if you're a huge comic book nerd, or you've read any comics or watched any Saturday morning cartoons, you probably, within the first 25 minutes of this movie, are going to guess who the main antagonist of the film is. And I won't spoil anything for you. I don't mind that this character was in the movie. I'm fine with who the character is and what they're going to do with the character in the future. But ultimately, I didn't need my Spider-Man movie to be a prequel for this character. It just didn't feel necessary. And the amount of time that they get in this film building this character up, it felt like half of a Spider-Man movie and half of another movie for somebody else. And it just felt it felt a sort of discombobulating at times. And I just wanted more Spider-Man in my Spider-Man movie. Call me crazy. And I really think had this new Spider-Man flick, Spider-Man Brand New Day, just had one of the iconic Spider-Man villains being the main focus point, and you can introduce another secondary character and weave it throughout the story and make it work, but don't make them the main character that Spider-Man's going up against. I really, really feel like this movie needed an actual villain. It would be like watching The Dark Knight without the Joker. It wouldn't be the same. And that was my biggest complaint with Spider-Man Brand New Day. I feel like had this had one central, badass, iconic villain that they just did to perfection, this ultimately could have been a much, much better movie than it was. This could have stood out and stood on its own two, or I don't know, how many legs does a spider have? 8? This could have stood on all 8 spider legs as its own superhero movie and not try to tie it in with 14 other things happening in the MCU. And that's the biggest detriment to this movie. It really is. And I feel like had they just tweaked it a little bit, it would have been so much better. Now, speaking of Spider-Man villains, there is, in the first act of the film, a very quick montage sequence where you see a multitude of Spider-Man characters show up. You blink and you miss it. They're sort of just there, and I would say they're sort of just there for fan service to say, hey, we put it in the movie. You can't get mad at us. We showed you this character. There it is. But you don't really get much more than that. So don't get overly excited if you have some assumptions of some other Spider-Man villains showing up in this movie, because they're sort of just, they're barely there. Let's talk about the Hulk. Once again, there's a pretty cool fight sequence between Spider-Man and the Hulk in this movie, but it's a Marvel movie. So do you really think anyone dies? Everyone's sort of pulling their punches, aren't they? So who really cares? But the Hulk in this film felt really tacked in. And I thought they were going to do more with the character, especially with Mark Ruffalo being a professor at a school. I thought they were going to actually utilize him to play like a role in the plot. So he had a reason for existing in the movie. But no, it was just there so Spider-Man could fight the Hulk and it would look really cool in the movie trailers. It ultimately does not matter to the plot of this movie. It's just, you could have just cut it out and nothing probably would have changed all that much. And I was hoping that Mark Ruffalo would have helped do something with Spider-Man, or the Hulk would have helped propel the plot or something interesting, because there's a lot of theories going on around the internet. And I had a few of my own for the reason that the Hulk would be in this movie. And don't get too excited. Like, none of it happens. That's all I'm saying. None of it happens. So that was sort of a letdown. I guess they're going to sell more Hulk toys. But I will say this. At least the Hulk in this new Spider-Man movie looked like the Hulk once again. He wasn't all neutered. He didn't have low testosterone like he's had in the last 5 MCU movies. No. The Hulk looked like the Hulk once again. And I loved that. Please just continue that. That's how we should look. I don't want Professor Hulk. No, come on. Get out of here with that weak ass shit. All right? I want him all jacked up on gamma radiation. Okay. Now, when it comes to the love interest, MJ, played by Zendaya, she has a pretty big role in the movie. And I once again like that relationship between her and Peter Parker. And I love Ned Leeds, played by Jacob Batalon, I believe it is. I think he's like the perfect best friend for Peter Parker. Once again, that's some of the best stuff in the movie. And there are some heart punch moments in this movie where you kind of get the feels just ever so slightly. So, what else did I have to say about Spider-Man Brand New Day? I'll just go with this. Now, here are my final flicking thoughts on Spider-Man Brand New Day. I really liked half of this movie. I think all of those moments, those character moments between Peter Parker and his friends and coming to terms with who he is and the fact that no one remembers him after the events of No Way Home, that's some of the most compelling stuff in this film. Those character moments are what truly make this character so great and made this movie pretty good at times. And there is a handful of cool action sequences that I really enjoyed. But the biggest issue, once again, is all those side quests and all those other characters that this movie takes up half the runtime introducing just to build them up for another movie in the MCU where it sort of takes away from your Spider-Man movie. And I feel like that was sort of messy. It got a little messy and a little sloppy at times. And once again, had this movie just had a central iconic Spider-Man villain for him to go up against and test his might, and then have a few other side characters on the side and give them their prequel or backstory leading into new upcoming MCU movies, that would have been fine. This movie just needed a villain. That's all I'm saying. Your hero can only be as good as your villain, and the villain in this movie kind of didn't feel like a real villain. So those are my thoughts on Spider-Man Brand New Day. If I had to give this movie a grade, I would give it this right here. Pretend like there's a B- up there. I think it's a solid Spider-Man movie. It's definitely one of the most mature Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. And I will say, outside of the last hour of Spider-Man No Way Home, I would probably say this is my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, or at least it's my favorite performance by Tom Holland as Peter Parker or Spider-Man. But hey, if it was a rainy night and I had some friends over, and if I had any friends, which I don't, but if I did, and we were in the mood to watch a Spider-Man movie, I probably would pop in No Way Home just because I think it's a more enjoyable, fun, blockbuster-esque Spider-Man movie that's easier to watch. I don't know if this movie will have as much rewatchability as that movie does. Like half of the movie I do want to revisit again, but the other half I just could care less about going back and watching it. Yeah. So that's my thoughts on Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, here's my question for you, and let me know down below if you've seen the movie, what did you think about it, or what is your favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man movie? I still would probably go with No Way Home, or at least the last hour of it, but overall, I think this story of Spider-Man is the most intriguing. I just wanted more Spider-Man in the Spider-Man movie. Oh, and a few other things about this movie that I have to say is I didn't think the score stood out that much. When it comes to those Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies with Danny Elfman's score, that in itself elevated those movies and gave it this atmospheric feel and tone and immersiveness. The score in this new Spider-Man movie, it just didn't really stand out as much as I was hoping it would. But as far as the visuals go, at times it looks awesome. I like that this movie didn't look all Marvel-fied, where it had a concrete color grading filter put on top of it. It actually has some contrast. It has a little bit of depth. It's not overly lit. Some of the CGI looks pretty good. Some of it looks like slopped together background CGI because they probably didn't have enough time. But my biggest praise I can give this movie and the look of this movie were some of the practical effects that you see in the film. At times, you actually see a dude in a spandex suit, and it feels like a real Spider-Man. You actually see Tom Holland in the suit. You can see his earlobes. He's not wearing the mask under the mask where it makes his face look all smooth. It actually looks like a dude in a Spider-Man suit. And I loved those things. I loved how they actually had him swinging around on a crane through the city streets. That stuff was great. I wish more superhero movies would utilize just a little bit more practical effects because it really does make the movie that much better. But you also get a lot of CGI slop here and there. So anyway, those are my overall thoughts on Spider-Man Brand New Day. Okay. Let's see what you guys had to say about this movie. Did I really just talk for 20 minutes? Oh my God. Okay. All right. Logo Face says, Spider-Man Brand New Day is better than all the previous Tom Holland movies, in my opinion. I think overall, all the moments with Spider-Man are better, but I still think that last hour of No Way Home, it's hard to top that. It's hard to top that. But some of the character moments in this movie are by far the best. There's definitely people hating online. Well, good. It's good to have different opinions. The movie is beautiful looking. Yeah, it's a good looking movie. It really is. One other cool thing in Spider-Man one other great thing in Spider-Man Brand New Day is going back to that fight sequence with the hand. It kind of feels like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. There's some slow-mo scenes and Peter Parker's just getting his ass kicked back and forth. So that was great. Oh, one other thing I did want to mention was another complaint I had with this movie was it felt like it had some interesting concepts, but it didn't truly commit to some of the concepts. And if you read the comics, you know how far some of these changes that Peter goes through can definitely go. It can get dark and gritty and kind of grotesque. And you just get sort of a surface level version of those comic book storylines in this movie. And I was hoping that they would truly go for it and give us something horrific and almost gross to look at. But they didn't quite go there, and I was hoping they would. It's just one of those other things in the film where they kind of like allude to an idea, but they don't really go all the way in with it. And I wish they would have. If Spider-Man was played by Ellen Page, you would have loved it. Yeah, because that's definitely me. That's my personality. If you've been watching me for 10 years, that's definitely what I wanted to see in the Odyssey. Yes. Logan CD says, John, did you manage to get tickets for Doomsday? My theater sold out in a couple of minutes in the first week. What? I live in Indiana, so it probably won't sell out 6 months ahead of time. I did not get tickets ahead of time, but maybe I should. Did this start at 8 o'clock? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. All right, we got one here from Thomas McClellan. Hey, John. I was trying to send a message from my phone, laugh aloud. I wasn't trying to spam the chat. Am I the only one who doesn't care about Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam? It'll be a fine match. It's not like I'm that excited for it, but hopefully it's at least a good match. If the build-up ultimately sucked, but hopefully it's a good match. Well, you don't know who the villain is. I mean, if you've been on the internet for the last 6 months, you know who's in the movie. If you put two and two together, it's not really a big mystery who the villain is. It just isn't. I'm sorry. Like, if you have common sense and you're not a troglodyte, and you even saw one of the press photos from the red carpet, you'd probably assume that maybe this person, who the trailers haven't shown, just might be in the movie to some degree. I don't know. Call me crazy. Why do we have to play so stupid when it comes to MCU movies? Like, if you've read a comic book, you probably know. I mean, all right. It's all been written somewhere before. It exists on the pages somewhere. Okay? All right. Spider-Noir was glorious. Yeah, I have only watched the first episode. I thought it looked cool. I love me some Nicolas Cage. What's that in your pocket? A spider or something? Vulture is still my favorite Spider-Man film villain. Oh, dude, I think Michael Keaton elevated the shit out of the Vulture in the first Spider-Man movie. You want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts. Oh, I loved Michael Keaton as the Vulture. I think the Vulture is probably my favorite villain that Spider-Man's, or at least Tom Holland Spider-Man, has went up against. All right. Who does the girl from Stranger Things play? She plays Batman. All right. All right, guys. Keep getting your questions in. I'm going to get to every single question. So if you have any questions, keep them coming. I'm going to get to them. Don't worry. I just got one other topic we need to talk about. And the next main topic is... look at this epic box set for the 4K release of Stranger Things, the 25 disc edition from Arrow Video. Look at this beautiful thing I'm holding in my hand. This is perfection. Now, when it comes to Stranger Things, the series, it's one of my favorite series of all time. You can say what you will about some of the seasons or some of the episodes or even season 5. I still overall think it's a great time, and I always looked forward to watching Stranger Things. The characters, the dynamic, the score, the tone, the vibe, that 1980s nostalgia. It's just everything I wanted to see. But this box set that was sent to me from Arrow Video, this is something I've been wanting for a very, very long time because, keep in mind, the only way that you can really watch Stranger Things for the last multitude of years was watching it on Netflix. Now, I'm really looking forward to going back and revisiting this series maybe next year. I got to let it simmer a little bit, but I'm looking forward to rewatching the entire series on 4K because it'll look better than it ever has. There's going to be no compression. The audio will be better than it's ever been. So I cannot wait to go back and revisit this on 4K. So without further ado, let me unbox this release here. I should have brought scissors. Here we go. Oh, you gotta let it breathe. You gotta let it breathe. Oh, look at this. Look at this. I love the colors. I love that blue and that red on here. Just look at that thing. There's Vecna looking at you. Nancy. There's the back there. So really awesome cover art. Definitely something I want to put on my shelf. Let me take this little... Oh, it's taped on. Okay, we'll do that later. Am I stupid? How do you open this? Give me a second. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, so let's open this bad boy up. Here, let me put the mic over here. It's all floppy. There we go. Okay. Let's open this bad boy up. Ooh, I like the way that slid. That's what he said. Okay, so when you open it up, you have all the seasons right here. You have season 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Season number 4 looks different than the rest. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go through this real quick. We're going to talk about everything that this comes with. So let's see what's in this first little box here. Oh, okay. So that's awesome. So you get a Hellfire Club patch. That's classy. Then you get some cards in here, a whole bunch of character cards, stuff like that. Those are nice. All right. Set that over here. And then it looks like you get a multitude of posters. I'm not going to open every single one of these, but the thing about Arrow video releases is they usually give you a poster. Look at that. Look at that original one-sheet poster from Stranger Things right there. That is sweet. Oh, I love the smell of a new poster, I'll tell you that. But you get like 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get a poster for every season. So each season will have its own poster. Let's open up another one here. Here's the poster from season 3. It's really nice art. Ooh. Really nice artwork right there. It's nice stuff. Now look at that. Look at Billy. He's about to die from sacrificing himself to the meat monster. That's how I would like to die, from a meat monster. All right. And then you get this booklet right here. This thing is thick. Look how thick this thing is. And I like the artwork on this. This is sort of like at the very end of season 5, you actually see that photo of Mike's book that he's writing called Stranger Things, which is basically a player's guide to D&D. So it says player's manual on it. So is this like... Yeah, so this has like concept art, sketches of the scenes. So really cool stuff. That's perfect bathroom reading material. I will read that over the next month or so. Okay, so let's get into the good stuff here. You got season 1. Now each of the seasons comes with a slipcover. Ooh, actually, they don't just come with a slipcover. They come with like a lenticular. Look at that. The Christmas lights light up. So take that slipcover off, and then inside, you have the discs. You have disc 1, chapters 1, 2, and 3. So they split up each season on, it looks like maybe 3 or 4 discs. So that is awesome. Okay, so I'm fairly certain the next 2 seasons kind of look the same as season 1. But let's check out what's going on with season 4, because season 4 has this like extra plastic cover. Oh, I see. Ooh, look at Max rising up, Vecna style. Max. Now I get why they put the clear case on there. Okay, that is cool. Man, it's little things like that. That is what physical media should be. That's what gets me excited. You can touch it, you can feel it, it has cool stuff, it's artistic. And so here's the season 4 discs. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 7 discs just for season 4 right there. Okay, that's awesome. They definitely spared no expense. And then you got season 5 with Will. Let's close that. But yeah, this is awesome. This might just be one of my favorite releases of the year, if not my favorite release of the year. So I cannot wait to go back and revisit Stranger Things on physical media. It'll probably look better than it ever has. What am I saying? Not probably, it just will. So here's the box once again. Definitely going to be cool. Like, I almost have the Stranger Things vibe going on in my room right now. I set this up for Spider-Man. I didn't really set it up for... That's what it always looks like. But the lighting here matches this. Okay, and real quick, I'm going to give you guys more of a sort of a breakdown of what this set comes with. And once again, the link to this is down below in the description. So if you guys want a closer look at it for yourselves or pick one up, I would definitely recommend it. Okay, so here's the Stranger Things Complete Series Deluxe Edition 4K UHD. This costs $215. But, when you get 25 discs, I'm not a mathematician. Per disc, what is that? I don't know, $10 or something? Maybe less? I don't know. I'm not pulling out a calculator to double check this. But anyway, here's everything you get in it. Look at all those discs, all the artwork. Here's the box art once again on it. And just a quick breakdown what it comes with. It comes with 25 discs. It comes with a whole bunch of special features. Everything I showed you. It's got bloopers, set tours, behind the scenes featurettes, interviews. Pretty much everything you'll ever want to know about Stranger Things is in this release from Arrow Video. I'm kind of curious what these reviews are saying. I kind of want to read the reviews on it real quick. Looks and sounds great. Pretty disappointed that the season 4 slipcover looks terrible sitting beside the other seasons in the box. For a collector item that's over $200, that's kind of inexcusable. What a stupid review. What a dum-dum. It's in a box, man. All the movies are setting in a box. They're all inside of the box. What? I think that slipcover where Max rises up is awesome. I think that stood out the most. Okay. Well, that was a stupid review. Awesome, but I don't understand why it doesn't come with Spanish subtitles. Well, I don't speak Spanish, so that one's okay with me. But everyone else seems to like it. All right. That's why you have to read negative reviews on things. It's just the dumbest shit people say. All right. Okay, are you guys picking this up? Let me know down below. 4 is season 4 is by far and away my favorite season of Stranger Things. It goes the darkest. It has a Nightmare on Elm Street vibe. And by the way, the climax, the final 2 episodes in that season where they're just kicking Vecna's ass and the music and that scene where Nancy's shooting Vecna with a shotgun and the music in that was phenomenal. Plus you had Eddie. I was Eddie last Halloween. So yeah, season 4 is by far my favorite. All right. John, do your thing. You could take on Cyclops in a fight one-on-one. I probably could. Okay. John, what are your thoughts on the Doomsday trailer? I watched it once. There's some cool stuff I'm looking forward to, but man, something about that Doomsday trailer, it didn't get me as excited as I was hoping it would. And the way that the movie looks, it just felt like everyone was standing in front of a green screen with close-up shots. It just looked like bright CGI flashes all over the place. Like, I guess Captain America coming back as sort of just Steve Rogers, even though he probably becomes another character, and I've read a few comic books and I kind of know who he's going to become, so that can be kind of cool. I'm looking forward to the movie. I don't think that trailer got me like that excited for it. I don't think it looked terrible, but it kind of just looked like a movie trailer for the Avengers. Like it almost looked like something AI had created. I'm still looking forward to the movie. Oh, yeah, no spoilers about Spider-Man Brand New Day. There is an after credit scene, but don't get too excited. Don't get too excited. You don't actually see anything, so don't get too excited, okay? All right. What do you guys say we dive into your questions and see what you guys had to say tonight. And by the way, thanks to everyone joining me on this live show. It does mean a lot. I love all of you. You guys are beautiful. You guys are magical. But let's turn on the graphics. There we go. And dive into your questions. And just in case I missed any, hang on a second here. I got to go to YouTube to find them. Okay. By the way, how are you guys doing tonight? What's new in your lives? Are you guys going to go see Spider-Man Brand New Day tomorrow? Let me know. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay. Scroll up here. All right, we got one here from Sebastian who says, really excited for the Cliff Booth movie. I hope Fincher nails the dark humor of Tarantino's writing, but still bringing his own flavor. You and me both, man. I'm looking forward to that movie immensely. Now, it comes out, when does that come out? It's coming out very soon. Cliff Booth, Netflix movie release. Oh, I lied to you. It's coming out December 23rd, 2026. Okay, we only have 6 months. Well, I was excited. For some reason, I thought that was coming out this summer. It should. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. You know, if anyone else I would trust to direct a Tarantino character, it would definitely be David Fincher. And with all that said, my eyeball itches. Let me itch it. Oh, that feels good. You guys ever notice when you ever have your eyeball itch and you go to itch it and it just feels like it's just like an orgasm in your eyeball. Oh, that felt good. Okay. The next one comes from Sebastian once again, who says, what would be worse, Charlie Day as Batman or Seth Rogen as Aragorn? Charlie Day as Batman or Seth Rogen as... Oh my God, I'm Batman! Oh my God! Ooh. I don't know. I'm so over Seth Rogen, man. But Charlie Day. Yeah. I'd probably go with Charlie Day as Batman just because I like the character Batman more. So that's who I'd go with. A little too hyperbolic for me. The next one comes from Nick Gibson, who says, hey, John, have you seen the trailer for the EDP445 YouTube documentary? It looks insane. I don't even know what that is. What the hell is that? EPDDE What are we talking about here? Ed 209? What is this? The Sick Mind of Official Documentary. What? I don't know what this is. I'm sorry, I'm employed. I don't know everything that's happening on social media anymore. What is this? What is this? What is this? Is this a real documentary? Offenders Endgame. Is this a movie about predators? Okay, interesting. I mean, that looks mildly interesting, I suppose. Okay. Cool. I'll check it out, man. I don't. My wife watches every Netflix documentary, so she'll watch it and let me know. That looks mildly intriguing. Okay, let's keep going here. The next one comes from. And by the way, Nick Gibson, thank you for the super chat. You get a party popper right to your melon, man. All right, we got another question here, and this one comes from Spencer Goddery. Spencer Goddery. We're going to go with that. Here we go, Spencer. Thank you for the question. I hope it's a good one. John, if you had to a weekend locked in a cabin in the woods with one of these people, who would it be? The Pigeon Lady, Austin Butler with his Elvis accent. Oh, yeah, my pretentious accent, because I'm a method actor. Or your old ass pizza delivery manager, or your ex, or one of your exes. Okay, that's a good question. Definitely not the Pigeon Lady. I hate to tell you, I just don't want to be locked in a cabin with someone covered in shit. My old Pizza Hut manager, wherever she is, I hope she's in a lot of agonizing pain right now. So there's that. Maybe Austin Butler with his Elvis accent. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't seem like the most interesting person alive. He seems kind of like a mannequin walking around with a voice, but that could be okay. So maybe I'd go with that. And thank you for the question. There you go. There's a party popper. I'd rather be in a cabin with you. All right. The next one comes from Parzival4888, who says, John, thoughts on Doomsday and Dune 3 trailer? I think both trailers looked fine. Like I just mentioned, let me get I got a little bit of residue here on the camera. I thought the Avengers trailer just looked like a culmination of every Avengers trailer crammed into one with nothing that stood out all that much. Like the scene where Steve Rogers takes Thor's hammer. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And clearly that was a test because I'm sure everyone's up in arms and not trusting anyone because people can transform into other people. So Thor was a little hesitant if it was actually Steve Rogers. So that was the true test. The Dune trailer looked cool. I'll be honest with you, I didn't actually watch all of the Dune trailer, and here's the reason why. I'm just trying to avoid trailers as much as possible before going to watch movies. Now, I'm not going to be able to most likely do that because I'm going to go see a movie in a month and it'll be playing before the movie. Unless I close my eyes and look away like this, I'm probably going to end up watching it. But as far as the new Dune trailer goes, I think it looks epic. It looks cool. I wish I had more thought-provoking opinions to give you about either trailer, but neither one of them really were that memorable to me. So what do you guys think about the Dune 3 trailer and the Avengers Doomsday trailer? Let me know down below. Let me know what you guys thought about it. What did you like? What did you dislike about it? Hey, what are you doing over there, Dustin Rich? Just joined. Howdy, Flick. Well, hey, welcome. Welcome to the party, man. Take off your pants. It's going to be a good time. All right, let's keep going here. The next one comes from Christopher, who says, love you, Johnny. Curious, what are some guilty pleasure action flicks from the 2000s, 2010s? Two of mine are 12 Rounds and The A-Team. Man, I did not like 12 Rounds with John Cena at all. I remember that came out what, 2000 like 7, 8. The A Team I watched once. The A Team to me is like the perfect definition of a forgettable 2010 movie. I'm trying to think. What was the question? Some underrated movie or guilty pleasure movies from the early 2000s, 2010s. Oh gosh. Okay, here's one. The movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds from 2000 and what is that, 5, 6, somewhere in there. I think the movie Waiting is one of the most underrated comedies of the last 20 years. And if you've ever worked in the food service industry, and I have, I was a pizza delivery driver for many of years. I served my country by delivering delicious hot pizzas in a timely fashion. Sometimes. But I never forgot the breadsticks. Yes, I did. Anyway, I think the movie Waiting is a good time. That's probably if you've never seen the movie Waiting, that would be my recommendation of like an early 2000s movie that you have got to watch. I'm sure there's 50 others, but off the top of my head, I'm going to go with that. Oh, actually, I got another one. There's a movie from 2005 or 6. I think it's 2006. Let me find it here. Come on, Google. All right. Hang on. I don't know how to spell. There we go. Okay. If you've never seen the movie Harsh Times starring Christian Bale, please watch this movie. Christian Bale plays this very like dynamic two personality type of character. He's really kind of a piece of shit, kind of street hoodlum, but he knows how to turn on this personality to where he wants to be a police officer. So he almost like flips a switch. I like dual personalities in characters. And he's like, "Sir, yes, sir. Okay, sir." And I love this. This movie's great. Now, it didn't do that well at the box office. Even on IMDb as a 6.8, Rotten Tomatoes has a 48%. But it's oh gosh, hang on. It's a David Ayers movie. I don't know if he directed this or just wrote it. Yeah, he directed it. David Ayer directed this. So it's got that same training day vibe where it kind of takes place over the course of 1 or 2 days, where you have two dudes in a car just getting into like nonsensical mayhem throughout the course of the movie. And they're both pieces of shit, but that's what I like about it. I like unlikable characters in my movies, or at least bad guy characters. But man, there's a scene in Harsh Times where Christian Bale kicks the shit out of some dudes, and he's like, "You're lucky you got little bitch feet, dog, or else I take your kicks." And it's good stuff. You got to watch it. So go watch Harsh Times if you've never seen it. So there's 2 underrated movies, in my opinion, or guilty pleasure movies. Yeah, he wrote and directed it. Yeah, it's a very David Ayer-esque movie. Murph says, "Have you seen Wet Hot American Summer? That's a great early 2000s comedy." I have not watched that. Everyone keeps telling me to watch it. I have not got around to watching it. All right. At some point in life, I probably will. Okay, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Jamsarm. Jamsarm says, "John, Hopper should have stayed dead. Discuss." Okay. All right, Hopper should have stayed dead. I don't completely disagree with that. I think it would have added a little something to the show. I kind of liked where they went to Russia to save him. There's a lot of things about that I like, but ultimately not necessary. I think it would have had more of an impact on the characters. I mean, he does have something to do in the later seasons, I suppose. and someone had to mourn L's death, from a fatherly standpoint. Yeah, I wouldn't have been upset if they just killed Hopper off and he had died. I really wouldn't have. I think he had served his purpose by that point in the show. I don't even remember what he did in season 4, really. So yeah, I mean, I would have been okay with that. I'm not mad that he stuck around, but I would have been okay if he died. Yeah, it would have been a nice gut punch for the series in season 3. All right, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Side Mike, who says, keep one, delete one. Logan or Days of Future Past? Ooh, baby. Okay. I think Days of Future Past is the best overall X-Men movie that we've gotten. I do. I liked Logan quite a bit. But I'd probably keep Days of Future Past. I know that sounds crazy, but you get just more in the movie. You get all of the X-Men doing X-Men stuff. You get some awesome sequences. You get that great scene with Peter Evans as a Quicksilver. Is it Quicksilver? I feel like it's Quicksilver is his character's name. You get that awesome scene where they're escaping the prison with Magneto. You get Wolverine throughout the entire movie. You get Sentinels. You just get more throughout the film. You get Jennifer Lawrence painted blue. That's always fun. And I know most people would probably say Logan's the better movie. And ultimately, I wouldn't disagree with you from a character study standpoint with the character Logan being at the end of his Wolverine run, which I think was a great movie. And it's very touching. And you got Charles Xavier and it feels like a real movie with these characters. I didn't like that Wolverine died by a tree branch. I guess that's my problem. I don't. Man, yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna get blasted. I'm keeping X-Men Days of Future Past. I'm sorry, but Logan I think is technically the better movie. But then Wolverine came back 14 times after that. So did the death mean anything? It's just a multiverse on top of a multiverse where you have another version of the character and he'll show up in Deadpool and Wolverine for the sake of making some money, which I enjoyed the movie. All right, let's go to the next one here. I love the way Logan looks visually. Oh yeah, it looks like a real film. It looks like a real movie. Yeah. It feels like an actual movie that just so happens to have these comic book characters in it. All right. Dragonite says agreed. Well, thank you for that. Please accreditate my opinions. All right, let's go to the next one here. The next one comes from Claudio Rogajon1234. How's it going? Here it goes. Hey, John. Me and my brother just bought Robin Hood Prince of Thieves on 4K. It might just be me, but doesn't the movie look incredibly cheap sometimes? Absolutely it does. See, the thing about Robin Hood Prince of Thieves is they shot that movie with extreme wide-angle lenses. And it sort of doesn't look that cinematic. It kind of looks weird. It's definitely a weird artistic choice. And I've never loved it about the movie. It's always definitely stood out to me. For example, they'll have these close-up shots of people's faces, and it's just a wide-angle lens. Why a spoon, cousin? Because it's dull, you nitwit! It looks like a GoPro camera or something. So, yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about. And then when they do that, when they shoot it that way, the sets that they're in look cheaper, too. It just looks like they're standing in front of, in a set. But I still love the movie. I don't care. It's got some weird stylistic choices, yes. But I love it, man. And Robin Hood Prince of Thieves, when they go to Sherwood Forest and they're making the tree houses and the bridges and making their arrows, take me there. I want to live there. I want to live there in a tree house. Okay, let's keep going. And the next one comes from, and by the way, Claudio, you get a party popper because Robin Hood Prince of Thieves is one of the best movies ever made. My name is Morgan Freeman. You know how in the Odyssey, no one has an accent. Everyone has an American accent. And I like to think Kevin Costner in Robin Hood Prince of Thieves started that because he doesn't try to do an English accent. No, he just sounds like Kevin Costner. He did this many years before Matt Damon ever did. All right, the next one comes from Claudia Rogajan again, who says, also, what do you think is worse in the movie Kevin Costner as Robin Hood or Christian Slater as Will Scarlet? I say Christian Slater. Yeah, Christian Slater, he's never been known as like the best actor of all time, though I do like the dude. I mean, he was like one of the go-to actors in Hollywood in the early 1990s. But yeah, he's not the great, but I liked it. I like him in the movie. I do. Do I think he adds much? No, but I like him in the movie. But I like him even more in Broken Arrow. Put a turbo dog in the microwave. Just trying to do his best Jack Nicholson impression throughout his entire career. And by the way, Claudio, thank you so much for the question. Thank you so much. You get a party popper right to your face, man. Jason Nelson, how's it going? Jason Nelson, who says, let me put this mic down. Do you feel like critics now are either L or right wing, left wing or right wing? I don't know. Why does everything have to be left or right, up or down, good or bad? Whatever happened to nuance? Listen, I live my life in the gray zone. Listen, there's some shit that I like that isn't perfect, and there's some shit that I hate that there might be a little bit that I think's good about it. I don't know. So yeah, to like simplify everyone's personality as a left or right is just like, that's crazy, man. Don't let the media do that to you. They want a divide. That's how they keep us segregated. They keep us fighting against each other. It shouldn't be us against us. It should be us against the system, showing that the human spirit's still alive while everyone else inches down the freeways in their metal coffins. Don't let the media influence you. It's lies. It's owned by corporations. What do those corporations want to do? Well, they want to poison your food sources, build data centers, suck all the water up, and make us fight to the deaths in a post-apocalyptic wasteland while they keep raising taxes and take more and more freedoms away from us. So I hope that answered your question. I identify as non-binary. That's what I identify as. Okay. You want to get nuts? I'll get nuts. Let's get nuts. I'm so hungry, I could eat the ass end out of a dead rhino. Get me two, Utah. Get me two. Back off, War Child. Seriously. You want more Point Break references? I got them. John, The Dark Knight is a better movie while The Batman is the better Batman movie. Yeah, okay. Okay. Sure, I don't disagree with that. Absolutely. But is Batman Begins or The Batman? Which one is the better Batman movie? John, do you think your coworkers are watching and are like, what the fuck? I hope so. I don't know. Probably. Listen, when I talk about watching movies where characters have like completely different personalities, I think I like that because it best describes my personality. When I go to work during the day, I'm sort of somebody else. I'm still me. Inside, the gears are still ticking, but I wear a different mask. And then when I come on YouTube, I'm like the YouTube me. This is where I give you guys all of my pent-up energy right to your face with a party popper. And then when I turn off the camera, I'm sort of like another version of me that's a little bit more subdued and lazy. I like to lay around on a heating pad, drinking Sprite Zeros, eating Quest protein chips. So really, there's like 3 different versions of me, but it's all me. Parzival says, John, have you seen the film Next with Nick Cage? Interesting film, but the ending ruined it all. Dude, that movie Next with Nick Cage is a piece of shit. I hated it. I remember watching that in theaters. Now, I don't remember a lot about it, but that was... Nick Cage did like... I remember like in the course of 2 years, he did all these like shitty movies that went to the theater that would never go to the theater now. He did Next. He did like... Oh my God, what was the other thing he did? The one with the plane crash. He did like 3 other movies that just all sort of blended together. What was that one he did with Jake Baruchel? The Sorcerer's Apprentice or something stupid like that? John, the falling down guy. Yes, that is me. Okay, let's keep going with the questions here. Sebastian, how's it going, Sebastian, says, what if Mel Gibson made The Odyssey? Well, after Mel Gibson's movie Flight Plan, or whatever that was it called Flight Plan with Mark Wahlberg that came out last year? That was a piece of shit. Now, if we're talking about like Mel Gibson, like Apocalypto Mel Gibson... Okay, yeah. If we're talking Braveheart Mel Gibson, okay, give it to me. I want it. But I don't know. I'd have to see another movie from Mel Gibson. I think he's making like Passion of the Christ Part 2. So, I think Nolan was the right choice for The Odyssey. But if Gibson can go back to making movies like Apocalypto, yes, I would love to see more of that. Definitely one of the most underrated movies of all time. That and Master and Commander. 2 of the most underrated epics of all time. But thank you for the question. Landon Lee, 5536, says, it looks like you're still working out. You know what's funny about that? I have not worked out in probably 3 months. Here's the thing about me. Depending on what shirt I wear, it looks like I work out or I look like an alien boy who's addicted to heroin who weighs 93 pounds. It just depends on how well the shirt fits me. This shirt fits pretty good. I like it. Feels good. Now, let's pump up the jam here. Look at that. I have not worked out in 3... And before I worked out 3 months ago, I hadn't worked out in a year. Okay? Muscle memory. Once you got it, it slowly fades away. I think it's just kind of my normal day job. It keeps me active, you know? All right. That's enough douchebag stuff. Let's keep going. Flight Risk. Yes, it's called Flight Risk. That abomination that Mel Gibson made. A movie about a plane that wants to crash. I wish I was in a plane that crashed when I watched it. Logan CD says, National Treasure is a class. Oh, I love me some National Treasure. They did not expect National Treasure to make any money at the box office. They didn't think anyone would care about that movie. And it became like a blockbuster hit, which made a really terrible sequel. But, you know, I feel like Nicolas Cage will be in any movie that you give him. Why have we not gotten like a National Treasure 3? Like an epic National Treasure. I think that would do very well at the box office right now. Dustin Rich says, watch Neon Demon with the missus this week. If she loves it, you'll know she's a keeper. I've been meaning to watch that movie for a while now. It has very mixed opinions. But this weekend, I'm watching SummerSlam. That's what I'll be doing this weekend. Okay, the next one comes from Brown Auden7, who says, they straight up copied the Thunderbolts ending. A little, maybe. Yeah, I'd have to think about that. Maybe a little bit. Once again, if we're talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I think you are, just wait for my spoiler video. I have a lot to say in that. Once again, I shot that in a parking garage after watching the movie, so it's not like I put a lot of thought into it, but it's visceral, it's raw, and it's unadulterated. So I'll probably crap that out tomorrow on YouTube over on the Flick Pick channel, so look out for that. Okay, let's go to the next one here. And the next one comes from Jason Nilsson, 5251, who says, Happy 79th birthday to Arnold, the GOAT of action. Do it now. Well, happy birthday to Arnold. Happy birthday to you. You cybernetic organism, you, with your beautiful old pecs. They might be more saggy than they were, but man, you are still the man amongst men. You are a god, an immortal, Arnold. Arnold to me is the quintessential action hero of all time, man. You know, Arnold always puts a smile on my face. I don't think there's going to be a more charismatic muscle man from Hollywood ever. Don't say The Rock, it's Arnold. That is the action hero that we all deserved. But I remember watching all the 90s movies with my dad. And Arnold, every time a new Arnold movie would come out, that was like, we got to go see it. Last Action Hero, True Lies. That was my introduction to Jamie Lee Curtis stripping, and I was a little boy, and I became a man that day. So good stuff. I think we should move on though. Man, how old is he? 80, 79. Jeez, man. I will say that Arnold is the one celebrity I've always wanted to meet. I don't care about any, like Nicolas Cage maybe, but Arnold has always been the one celebrity I would like to meet. Reptile 042 says, will Flick video games ever return? Probably not. You know, it was a good idea at the time. I made like 5 videos on that channel, but the truth is I'm just not a big hardcore gamer. So I'd feel like a poser if I made a video game channel. You know, the only thing I'd play is Rocket League for 2 minutes until I get pissed off and quit and rage quit and snap my controller in half. And then that'd be the end of my channel. Skylar Wheelock 8477 says, here's a fun flick fact for you. Forrest Gump's house is the same house used in Aunt Charlotte's house in The Patriot, and then the British burned it down. You're right. Yeah, another fun fact is that house actually in Forrest Gump was not located in Alabama. It was actually located in South Carolina. Or maybe it was North Carolina. I'm going to go with South Carolina. But yeah, interesting fact, isn't it? Huh. I like to think that that's still the same house, but they rebuilt it after the Revolutionary War, and then Forrest Gump's family moved into it. Just putting it out there. Logan CD says, interested to see what Gosling does with Ghost Rider. I think the actor for Black Panther is a good pick. Yeah, I did see that. So I like me some Ryan Gosling, and I do think he'll make like a really good Ghost Rider. Is it Johnny? It's not Johnny Cage. What's his name? Johnny Blaze. Yeah, Johnny Cage, Johnny Blaze. Same thing, okay? But I think Ryan Gosling is like... I mean, who else would you cast to play the new Ghost Rider that has like name recognition that will actually potentially give the movie enough star power and charisma? I can see Ryan Gosling pulling off some of this stuff. And let's back up. Let's look at Ryan Gosling's filmography. He already did a movie where he was riding dirt bikes and being a badass. It was called Place Beyond the Pines. And the best part of that movie was Ryan Gosling's first act about his character, the Moto Bandit. I liked that. Some white trash dude riding a dirt bike, robbing banks. I just wanted the whole movie to be that. Unfortunately, it wasn't. But I think Ryan Gosling playing Johnny Blaze, the new Ghost Rider, I think that's a good casting choice. So I am looking, I hope they do it right. And I was not expecting a new Ghost Rider movie, so, it could be a good time. What's that in the bag? A shark or something? So yeah, I like me some Nicolas Cage, but I never thought he was like the right choice for Ghost Rider. And then they got the dude playing the new Black Panther. I think the other actor up for the role wasn't it Idris Elba's son, who I thought kind of looked a little more like the character, but yeah, so we're getting a new Black Panther movie. So it can be good. When does that even come out? Like 5 years from now? When's the new Ghost Rider movie supposed to come out? Ghost Rider new movie release date. The new Ghost Rider movie comes out in 2028. Okay, we got a couple years. Cool. Does Spider-Man work better as a teen or an adult? I think we got enough teenage Spider-Man from Tom Holland. I think Spider-Man works really good in his like very early adult college years. I think that's where Spider-Man can like you can have a little more fun with the character. Is it weird that I'm not excited to see Spider-Man or Doomsday in a theater? Disney has kicked me in the balls too many times. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm looking forward to Avengers Doomsday, but like a lot of these comic book movies are kind of just we've seen so many over the last 20 years where they are becoming formulaic. And we're getting to a point in the MCU where there's so many multiverses and like no one ever actually dies. It feels like there's no consequences anymore to anything. To where, okay, if this guy dies, who cares? He's coming back in the next movie somehow, some way. What's it matter? So, I think they got to start killing motherfuckers off. Kill off Thor. Kill off this guy. They're going to reboot all this shit in 5 years anyway. Start killing these people off. I want consequences. I want to go into a movie and not really know what's going to happen. So listen, I enjoy a great comic book movie. It's fun to go there, eat some popcorn, have a good time. But man, they are sort of becoming predictable at this point. I'll spoil the movie for you tomorrow. Look out for that video. How old will John be in 2028? I will be 73 years old in 2028. I know, it's crazy. No, I will be, what is that, 2 years from now? I'm not a mathematician. Carry the 0, add a 2. How old am I now? I'll be 41. Oh my God, I'll be 41 when the new Ghost Rider comes out. I'm getting too old for this shit. I don't even care. All right, let's keep going. Hopefully I'm just not dead. All right. By the way, Skylar Wheelock, thank you for the question earlier. You get a party popper. And let's go to the next one here. The next one comes from Claudia Rogan once again. Here it goes. Me and my brother watched the movie Fear the other night, and it was something. We couldn't stop laughing at Mark Wahlberg trying to play a psycho. Hey, is your dad at home? Hey, I want to come in. Let me come in. And he just beats his chest like this. Yeah, I like that he plays a little psycho asshole. If you have a daughter, Mark Wahlberg in the movie Fear is your worst nightmare. That's the kind of guy you just take a baseball bat to and end it quick. It's like, okay, tough guy. Hit him in the side of the head with a Louisville Slugger. Now look what you made me do, you little jerk. Say hi to your mother for me. Yeah, Fear's a good time. Quiet, enjoy it. And by the way, Claudio, thank you for the question. Here's a party popper. Let's go to the next one. And the next one comes from Skylar Wheelock, 8477, who says, I'm scared of Nolan doing a horror movie. That man might actually summon real demons and have them audition. Oh yeah, Satan himself will actually be in the movie. He will go out and find Satan. Or at least I hope he does. No, I think if Nolan does anything, Nolan should do a nice little, and I say little, he should do like an $80 million horror movie. He doesn't need to make it this huge epic. Just make it something like he did with The Prestige. Something more small scale. Use all the practical effects you want, man. Make it horrific. That's what I would like to see from Nolan. And if he does a movie like that, where it's not this huge epic that takes 3 years of production, maybe he could make it in a year or two and then go on to something else after that. So, yeah, I would like to see that from Christopher Nolan. Definitely a time period horror movie from Nolan. Go back in time. The older, the better. If you want to make it like a Dracula or a werewolf movie or something in the 1700s, even better. You know, give me some gothiness to it. That's what I want. Yeah, I'm 39. Do live shows weekend nights, bro. Do live show weekend nights. Well, this weekend I'm busy. That's why I'm doing it tonight. Plus, I thought it'd be really topical since Spider-Man comes out tonight. Because if you don't talk about a movie the day it comes out or the day before it comes out, well, it's just like you might as well not even talk about it. So I wanted to be topical for you. All right, let's go to the next one here. The next one comes from Claudia Rogujon, who says, "You've said every quote from Point Break wrong. I'm sorry I don't type them out to remember them verbatim. I'm paraphrasing, but I like the way I say it more. It's more fluid and it rolls off the tongue. Okay? I'm sorry. It's close enough." Sal5227 says, "Brand New Day felt like Spider-Man Side Quest, the movie, which isn't a bad thing, but it left me asking what's the plan now." Yeah, it definitely, half the movie's a Spider-Man movie and half the movie's another movie, but they still call it a Spider-Man movie. And I'm just so tired of doing this. Just give us one solo movie about one solo character in this one solo universe. That's what we want to see. That's the title of the movie. It's on the poster. That's why I don't want to go back and rewatch Spider-Man Brand New Day over and over again, because half the movie's about something else I kind of got bored watching that didn't need to have an hour of runtime in the movie. Okay? And I stand by that. All right, let's keep going. But I do agree with everything you said, Sal. I completely agree. And here's a party popper. Ooh, that's a strong party. It had a little sulfur smell on it. But I kind of liked it. All right. Vagard, how's it going, Vagard? What are your thoughts on the new Clayface trailer? Man, did I watch the new Clayface trailer? Oh, I did, yes. It looks gross. And I like it. The grosser, the better, man. Clayface is looking like the type of movie I want. Now, when it comes to the Joker, I thought that was a great character study. They made like a real movie. They used this famous IP with the Joker, and they made like a real movie out of it. And now they're doing the same thing with Clayface. They're making character study movies. And those are some of my favorite movies of all time. So when you have this guy with this body dysmorphia and this body horror movie where his face is falling off, man, this is like looking great. Like, I never thought I would be this excited for a Clayface movie, because going back to the days when Clayface was first introduced in the Batman animated series back in the early 1990s, I thought the concept of Clayface being this actor who then turns into a giant brown turd, I never loved the character of Clayface. I just never did. But this is kind of making me come around to the character. So yeah, I think it looks great. I can't wait. Are you guys looking forward to Clayface? Let me know down below. Could you see Christopher Nolan doing Dante's Inferno? You know, after watching The Odyssey, I could definitely see him doing something as epic as Dante's Inferno. And if he's going to make a horror film, that just might be like, that wouldn't be a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. I could see that. Clayface looks like an actual movie. It does, man. It really does. And if somehow, and I wish they would do it, and they probably never will, because there was a lot of rumors and speculation that they're going to... Remember when the Joker first came out with Joaquin Phoenix? There were all these rumors that they were going to try to tie that in with Robert Pattinson's Batman. And I feel like they could have, if they really wanted to, they could have done it. You could have had a very old Joker show up in Batman. You could have. Now, I'm saying this before we got Joker 2. Okay, I'm saying it before we got that. But if they somehow, like, added a little more fantasticalness to the Batman universe with Robert Pattinson and put Clayface, like we're going to see in this upcoming movie, in that universe, I think that would be perfect. Blend those two things together. Give it to us. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I think it would be a big missed opportunity if they didn't connect those two things. I've not seen the trailer for Wicker. I have no clue what that is. I don't like body horror, so no. What? You don't like body horror? That's the best kind of horror. That's the kind of shit that gets under your skin and makes you feel icky inside. That's the kind of stuff that actually scares me, man. I love it. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Clayface trailer. And by the way, Vigard, thank you for the question. There's a little party popper to your face. Okay, Skylar Wheelock, how's it going, buddy? Here it goes. Does anyone else find it ironic that Sarah Connor was thrown into a mental institution for trying to sabotage an AI data center? Well, I guess technically it was an AI data center. It was a manufacturing plant. But I think fiction creates fact, and fact creates fiction. You know, that's the way I look at it. And when it comes to data centers, not to get off on some weird tangent, but I will. How is no one just going, this is not a good idea? We didn't have data centers 10 years ago, and we certainly don't need data centers in 10 more years. We have enough technology as it is. We have enough. We're good. Just whatever we have now, stop. Right now is something you could call the critical moment. Okay? Society is on a teeter-totter, and we're slowly going the wrong way. And the fact we're building all these data centers that no one wants, but somehow they keep getting built, the biggest question you have to ask yourself is, why? Are these basically data centers to support AI so we can all use ChatGPT in our everyday lives? No, they're not. They're infrastructures to support more surveillance on you and me. That way, when the New World Order takes over, we're all going to be categorized and have a social credit score, if you will. So everything that we're saying will instantaneously be put into some kind of AI algorithm, and we're going to be categorized like cattle. That's what's happening. And if Terminator wasn't a wake-up call for what the future is going to hold, then we're stupid. And it's scary. It's truly scaring what the world will look like in the next 20 years. I can't even imagine. Like, we went from not having AI that was useful in any sense just 2 years ago to now it's being implemented in everything. They're building data centers, and it's just like, stuff's getting scary, man. It doesn't even feel real. It feels like we live in the Matrix. And we probably will live in the Matrix in 20 to 30 years. Let's just keep going. Let's think happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Okay, happy thoughts. Let me put my Tom Cruise sunglasses on and keep going here. Actually, I can't read any of the questions with those on. They're too dark. Okay. But anyway, thank you for the question. And, as a wise man once said, when Cyberdyne Systems comes online July 7th, 1997, they'll become self-aware and launch a nuclear rocket. All right, whatever he said, something like that. Reptile042 says, thoughts on Neil Blomkamp's creating AI slop? I don't know. What's he making? I don't keep up with Neil Blomkamp much. Is he making some junk that no one's going to watch? Okay. The T-1000 is going to come for you. Probably, man. Listen, if you're watching right now, we are the resistance. Okay? The machines have weaknesses. Keep fighting. James Cameron will use AI before most of us. He's hypocritical, a wanker in that way. You know what? I could see James Cameron utilizing AI to shit out the rest of his Avatar movies just because it takes too much time. Listen, by all means, AI has a place. It does. And I think if it can help expedite certain things to some degree, that's fine. But when it starts controlling everyday life, that's a no-no. That's a big no-no. Don't do that. He made an AI zombie movie. That's good. I'll never watch it. Aaron Bazuick. How's it going, Aaron Bazuick? Who says, "Hey, John, are there any movies that come to mind when you are anticipating the upcoming months until December?" Well, we talked about Avengers, Doomsday, and Dune. There's a few movies coming out this fall. Let's look at the list here. Let's talk about some upcoming movies. Upcoming movies of 2026. Let's go to IMDb and look at these movies together, shall we? I want to share my screen with you guys because I like you to see what I'm seeing here. Okay. So what do we got? We just got Spider-Man Brand New Day. Oh, I want this. I Want Your Sex. What's that? I don't know what that is. Something you watch on Brazers at 3 o'clock in the night. All right, let's see. Ice Cream Man. No clue what that is. Super Troopers 3. Looks okay. I don't even know what half these movies are. Oh, August 14th, we're getting End of Oak Street. That looks kind of like that could be a cool movie. I don't know anything about it. I've heard some rumors, but I am looking forward to that. There's dinosaurs in the movie. Let's see. It ends. What is that? Insidious, Out of the Further. The Insidious movies have progressively been getting worse, but nevertheless, I will definitely check it out. Man, August. What do we got in August? Ooh, Fall 2, September 2nd. Now, listen, I love the first Fall movie. I love that movie. I love survival movies. It's one of my favorite genres. And I thought that was a good time. Fall 2, I'm hoping's good. It doesn't look as good as the first one, but I'm still looking forward to it. I love movies about high places and trying to survive. So I'm looking forward to it. Let's see. Runner 2026. Ooh, the new Resident Evil movie. I am actually looking forward to that. I'm hoping we finally get a good quality Resident Evil movie, not directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Listen, he made Mortal Kombat. Good job, man. But those Resident Evil movies were pretty shitty. So yeah, there's a couple movies I'm looking forward to. We got Terrifier 4. I don't know. What are you guys looking forward to? Oh, Street Fighter. Street Fighter looks like a good time, man. That looks like a good time. It looks like a Street Fighter movie, and it's self-aware. And I've been waiting since 1994 for a good Street Fighter movie. So hopefully that lives up to the hype. And then we get Clayface in October. Looking forward to that quite a bit. So we still get a handful of pretty decent movies coming out. Godzilla Minus Zero. That could be a good time. Quite enjoyed Godzilla Minus One. So, I Play Rocky. I like movies about making movies in the movie. And this is that movie. I won't say movie again. Yes, I will. But this is basically a movie about the... Shit! I said it again. But this is about the origin story of how Sylvester Stallone made the movie Rocky. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, I already know the story. I've heard it in interviews a dozen times, but it does look like they got a really good guy to play Rocky. He looks the part. Hey, I'll know, I'm going to be in Rocky or something, It ain't about how hard you can get hit. It's about how many times you can make a movie about Rocky. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get back to the questions here. Resident Evil will be good. Yeah, I hope it is, man. I have some faith in it. Street Fighter, yep. I think Supergirl was made with AI. It probably would have been better had it been made with AI, all right? Zach Greger has that touch. Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. Listen, I have faith. If Zach Greger chose to make a new Resident Evil movie, then I have faith that it'll at least be something refreshing and well done and enjoyable. Have you played the Resident Evil games? I played a little bit of like the first couple Resident Evil games. I always liked them. I'd never like beat them or anything, but I always liked the atmosphere and how creepy they were, and just like being in a room. And it was, I loved that vibe. And like Zach Greger going from like having a horror director tackle one of these, I think is like the right call. So I hope they have that atmospheric vibe that the games used to give us. John, no spoilers. Well, we're already done talking about Spider-Man. We're not doing any spoilers. All right. Oh, by the way, a couple movies I forgot to mention earlier during the segment where we talked about the Stranger Things 4K box set was I got Mortal Kombat 2 on 4K. Now, I was not that big of a fan of this movie. I love the video games of Mortal Kombat. I love the original 95 Mortal Kombat. I still think that overall is the most enjoyable video game movie ever made. But maybe this new Resident Evil movie will be better. I wanted more Johnny Cage in this movie from Carl Urban, and I think he's the best part about the movie. Unfortunately, you get sidetracked with Katana's character, who's just really generic. You don't care about it, but the movie tries to make her the main character, and I'm like, why did you do that? No one wanted to watch you in this movie. And then some of the fight sequences were kind of cool, but ultimately the score kind of sucks. And I thought some of the visual effects looked really underwhelming. This definitely looks like a movie that would have been made during COVID in front of a green screen where they had 5 extras in the background. And for a movie that had a decent budget, it just didn't look like it at times. So I was a bit underwhelmed by Mortal Kombat 2, but now I own it on 4K. The slipcover looks kind of cool, but it had some good ideas, but man, I just think they need to reboot what they're doing with this franchise because it could be immensely better than it is. And that's why I think the new Street Fighter movie looks good. Like it has like it's a bit more self-aware. So there's that. Did you guys like the new Mortal Kombat movie? Let me know. Logan CD says, John, did you get Weapons on 4K? I don't remember. I think I do own it on 4K. I think I do. Now, another movie I got recently was Pressure, starring Brendan Fraser, and this is about the events leading up to D-Day. Now, I got this on 4K. I have not seen this movie yet, and I like movies, history-based movies, and I was really curious to go watch this because I like war movies, and there might be some stuff I don't know about the events going into D-Day, the Battle of Normandy Beach that you see in the beginning of Saving Private Ryan, if you don't know what I'm talking about. But that was a very pivotal day for the strategic U.S. military to win World War II. That and dropping a couple atomic bombs, that kind of helped too. But anyway, I do want to check this out. Have you guys seen Pressure yet? Was it good? Did you like it? I will save this for a rainy day and eventually get around to checking it out. So the Street Fighter movie looks bad. Oh, I disagree. I think it looks fun. I thought it was okay. Chris Hansen movie comes out in September, John. Why don't you have a seat? What are you doing here? What's in the bag? So you brought a large cheese pizza and a box of condoms, and you just wanted to talk? Yeah, I thought I'd just come and give her some advice. You know, you shouldn't be doing this. Oh, yeah? Why don't you have a seat? And then just hit him in the head with a sledgehammer. All right. Okay, let's keep going here. The next one comes from Green Goblin. Itsy bitsy spider. Don't tell Harry. All right, here's the question. I just watched Spider-Man Brand New Day, coming home to Flick Pick Live to perfectly end the night. Well, thank you for that, man. I like to think my live stream is a better, more entertaining 2 hours of your life than Spider-Man Brand New Day. But if it's not, I understand. Zendaya will not be in my live stream, and I didn't have a $250 million budget, but I am wearing spandex underwear. Let's keep going. What was one of the first horror movies to make you crap your pants? That's a good question, man. Listen, I grew up watching the Nightmare on Elm Street films religiously. My family watched those movies. Every time a new movie came out, we would rent it on VHS and have a movie night. And keep in mind, I was like 5, 6, 7 years old watching this shit. So I remember watching maybe one of the earlier Nightmare on Elm Street films. And I watched it all alone in my grandparents' basement. And it was one of those experiences where you're on the couch in the basement, it's dark, it's creepy, and you know if you get up off the couch, you have to run up the stairs. You can't stop, because if you stop, Freddy Krueger's going to grab your leg and drag you down to the boiler room. So I remember watching the entire movie and thinking as soon as the credits roll, Freddy Krueger is going to pop out and kill me. So literally 30 seconds right before the movie ended, I did a backflip off the couch, ran up to this. I don't even think I touched one of the stairs. I think I hopped from the ground level of the basement all the way to the top of the stairs, 12 feet up, in one leap. And when I got to the top of the stairs, I closed the door behind me, turned on every light in the house, and then finally feeling safe only once that happened. And I probably grabbed a butter knife too and held it in my hand. That was probably one of the most terrifying experiences in my young life. So we'll go with that. When do you think the MCU will end? Probably never. I mean, the thing is, we've gotten to a point in the MCU where it's just like multiverse, 47 different versions of every character. No one can ever die. I don't know. And now we're going to start off with the X-Men at some point very soon, which I'm really looking forward to X-Men movies. I am. Like, let's take a break on the Avengers and but we won't. But we should take a break with the Avengers movies and just start off with the X-Men movies. And do not stop cross-linking these things in the MCU. I don't want my Avengers to show up in my X-Men movies. I want my X-Men movies to be standalone X-Men movies. That's what I want. That's what I need. So I am looking forward to that. I hope those are really well done. So man, I don't know. Probably never. There's nothing wrong with comic book movies. Just give us great comic book movies. A good story will always be a good story. If you have colorful characters in your movies, even better. But when it gets to a point where it's just slop on top of slop and you have 14 different characters that have to show up in every single movie, just give us standalone solo MCU movies. I think that would be refreshing. That's what I would like to see. Did you hear about the canceled X-Men movie? No. What happened? Do you inspect people's attics? Have you ever found Gary Busey? I do inspect people's attics. I have yet to find Gary Busey, but I'm still looking. Can we do away with Yelena? Probably not anytime soon. But I like me some Yelena. I like me some Florence Pugh. Okay, I'm not going to talk shit about that. She's not really Black Widow to me. She's no ScarJo, man, but I like her. By the way, Green Goblin, I hope I answered your question earlier, man, and thank you for the question so much. You get a beautiful party popper to your face. All right, Skylar Wheelock, how's it going? With all the recent lettuce recalls, are we one step closer to the Demolition Man timeline where Taco Bell is the only restaurant left? Well, seeing how it was mostly Taco Bell's fault, and if you guys didn't know what was going on, basically there was a large recall on shredded lettuce because it had parasites in it that were giving people explosive diarrhea for a month on end. I have not been affected by it, but also I do not eat Taco Bell that often. Because here's the thing about Taco Bell. You just have to assume that there's a 98% chance every time you go there, you're most likely going to come home with explosive diarrhea or at least get it the next day. And sometimes that's a price you're willing to pay. But lately, not me. But I love those little cinnamon twist things that they have. Oh, they're so good. Ooh, I could eat one right now. But anyway, I don't think Taco Bell, like Demolition Man, will be the last surviving restaurant because it'll probably be the restaurant that wipes out humanity. Most likely, it'll be Taco Bell. Yeah. I think McDonald's will be the last surviving restaurant. I do. They'll start feeding us engineered meat made from our own skin cells or something. Well, all right. But thanks for the question, man. Thank you so much. You get a party popper. All right. The next one comes from Skylar Wheelock, who says, name an awful piece of physical media you bought because, well, it's awful. I once bought Freddy Got Fingered. Ooh, that's low, man. That's real low. I don't know. I bought the shitty first G.I. Joe movie on Blu-ray for like $1, but it was only $1. There's been a lot of mediocre movies I've bought on Blu-ray, but a lot of them I've traded in over the years as well because I do something called cleansing my collection. And every once in a while, I go through all of my movies and I think to myself, I will never watch this. I don't want to watch this. And if I ever do want to watch it, maybe I'll watch it on Netflix. I know. But I'm talking about like shitty, bad movies. And I'm sure I got 20, 30 of them back there on the shelves. So I usually go through and cleanse those out of the collection and trade them in and get some store credit at my local physical media store and buy something else with the trade-in credit that I actually want. But I'm sure there's tons of crap back there I never want to watch. John Walker never did anything wrong. That's right, he didn't. He's a man for the people, by the people. I remember 5 years ago when John Walker, he killed a terrorist or something, and I made a tweet, and it went viral and blew up. And people got so mad. And I'm like, this is a fake character. I loved it, man. It was good times. I don't remember what I said. I think it was just. I think I purposely just said it to fuck with people. All right. The Twitter crowd, so easy. It's a place where people go to be mad. What can offend me today? Oh, this will do. All right. This comic book take will make me mad. His subjective opinion on this fictional thing? How dare he? All right. Claudio Rogajon back again. How's it going, buddy? You said fear is a good time. I laughed my ass off at how wildly it escalates for no reason. I enjoyed watching it, but it was kind of bad at sometimes. Yeah, Fear is a terrible 90s movie, but it's a good little hour and a half movie if you're bored on a rainy night, you know? But thank you, Claudio. Thank you for the question and thank you for the comment. It's not a very good movie, but hey, it was one of Mark Wahlberg's first breakout roles. And if anything, I can buy Mark Wahlberg being a psychopathic guy who dates a girl a little too young for him. Just putting it out there. Mark Wahlberg wasn't always a nice guy, you know? I think he committed a hate crime. Call me crazy. Just putting it out there. All right. John has 2 to 3 copies of Van Helsing. I almost bought it on 4K, but I never did. Dustin Rich says, I love cinnamon twists, but stopped ordering them because they often give me a bag with only 3 twists, and they're 98% air. Yeah, and the rest are just crumbs, and you got to drink the crumbs with your Baja Blast. That's the kind of toxic poison you get at Taco Bell, but it's so good going down. Logo Face says, I started collecting VHS tapes, and Point Break on VHS has a few different scenes and extra scenes than the 4K. Ooh, that's odd. Like what scenes? He blinded a dude in one eye. Yeah, he did. Okay. Logan CD says, John, what was better than putting Pizza Hut back? Wait. What was better than getting Pizza Hut back in the day and watching a new DVD from Family Video / Blockbuster? Well, I'm going to go back further. I'm going to go a little further back because I'm a 90s kid, okay? So we weren't watching DVDs or Blu-rays in the 90s. No. We're watching VHS. You got to rewind that shit when you're done. All right? But man, going to Pizza Hut or Domino's, we would do both. And then going to Blockbuster on a Friday night as the sun is setting and it's like you just got home from school. You had a hard day, okay? You came home from school. You're a little tired, but the weekend is here, man. And the sun is going down. And you go into Blockbuster and you smell that plastic smell. Oh, and just the amount of opportunity that you had at your fingertips as a kid. You could rent one video game and one movie. That's the rule. And then on the way out, my mom would always let me buy some candy and maybe get a gumball. You know what I'm talking about, the giant gumball machine at Blockbuster. They had the lights where the gumball would spin down all the way to the bottom and you grab it out of the bottom and it's so filthy down there because everyone had their dirty fingers in there and it's just laying in a pool of cess. That's why I'll never buy a gumball again. But anyway, as a kid, I didn't care. And you take that gumball out and you chew on it. Oh, and you're riding home and you just got the sun on your back. You got the hot pizza. You're ready to indulge and watch that movie that you rented. Oh, man. And the camaraderie, when you had movie nights, when video stores existed, I really think it was great for families. It brought us together. Because now on Netflix, it's like, oh, I'll watch it when I watch it and you can watch it in your room. I'll watch it in my room and whatever. But no. When you used to rent movies in the 90s, you rented that shit and you had it for 2 days. And the whole family got together and they had a good time and they enjoyed it together and they had an experience. And we just don't have that anymore. It makes me sad. But anyway, let me show you the gumball machine at Blockbuster Video. Oh, there it is. There it is. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay. That's not it. That's not him. Here it is. Okay. Look at that right there. Look at that gumball machine. One day, when we move and we get a basement, I'm going to buy that Blockbuster gumball machine. I am. Oh, I can't wait. Just looking at it, that gives me a cavity, man. That thing is responsible for at least 7 cavities in my youthful years. I miss it. Anyway, let's keep going. I know what you're talking about. Those were the days. I know, man. That's the problem. We just don't have things like that. My first job was at Family Video, 16th and Poston Indy, rip and shout out. Well, thanks, man. Yeah, Family Video was a cool place. Family Video always had a whole bunch of posters you could pick up. Like, if you wanted posters, movie posters, go to Family Video. They always had a bucket full of them. It was the perfect Friday nights. Brings a tear to my eye. Okay, let's keep going here. I'm going to answer just a few more questions, guys. So if you guys have anything you want to get in, if you guys are YouTube members, if you guys are just watching on the stream and you got a thought or an opinion or a question, get those in right now. I'm going to take questions for like the next 60 seconds. So get them in and I'll answer as many as I possibly can. Doesn't mean the live show's ending in 60 seconds. No. I'm just taking questions for the next 60 seconds. Jokerface501 says, John, forgive me, but I love Spider-Man 3. I know that's a hot take, laugh out loud. Hopefully you will love someday too. What's Spider-Man hot take you got, John? Well, I think Spider-Man 3 is an abomination against humanity, and that was one of the worst theater experiences I've ever had in my life. My spider senses are tingling, if you know what I mean. Oh. Terrible movie, terribly written, just really bad. Bloated and bad. But anyway, I'm glad you like it, man. What's a Spider-Man hot take that I have? I'd much rather rewatch Spider-Man No Way Home than Spider-Man Brand New Day. And 2 years from now, if I'm in the mood to watch a Spider-Man movie, I'd probably watch Spider-Man No Way Home over Spider-Man Brand New Day. That's how I feel about it. Is that a hot take? I don't know. And here's another hot take for you. Spider-Man 2, directed by Sam Raimi, I think is a great movie. I really do. But I'm not a big fan of Doc Ock. Something about him in that movie didn't do much for me. I have the power of the sun in my palm. I don't know. I like Spider-Man and Green Goblin, the first Spider-Man, much better than Spider-Man 2. And most people disagree with that. They think Spider-Man 2 is the better movie. I think the first Spider-Man's the more enjoyable one. I like that. I like the transformation. I like the first act of the movie much more. Bonesaw don't get you. 5 minutes of playtime. So anyway, I don't know. Are those hot takes? Let me know. I like watching Uncle Ben die. Just more fun. I think Green Goblin's a better villain than Doc Ock. I do. Dutch and Rich says, Street Fighter might be the only movie I go to see in the theater this year. Can't wait. I think you should expand your horizons just a little bit, but it looks like a good time. Are you watching WWE SummerSlam this Saturday and Sunday? Absolutely. I've dedicated my entire weekend to SummerSlam Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to get some Wingstop. That's what I do when I watch a PLE WWE event. I get me some Wingstop. I get some seasoned fries. Ooh, yeah, baby. Can't wait. I like the first one too. See? The first Spider-Man is the best. It really is. No Way Home and Deadpool 3 just got worse with each rewatch. The last hour of No Way Home, I guess, is what I really look forward to when I watch the movie. There's that. Wingstop has the best wings, man. But anyway, Joker Face, thanks for the question, man. And here you go. I'm glad you like Spider-Man 3. I do not. I hate it. Bakatir says, hi, John. Whenever you go out, what's the weirdest thing you've seen on drive-bys? Any establishment like McDonald's? What do you mean by this question? When you go out, what's the weirdest thing you've seen on drive-bys? Any establishments like McDonald's? I don't know what you mean by that question. I mean, one of the weirdest things I saw today was my next door neighbor lady who's crazy. I think she's schizophrenic. Don't tell her that because she'll probably stab me in the ear with a knife. I saw her outside today and she was listening to what was it? It was some 90s pop music or something. And she had her water hose and it's been very dry and the grass is kind of like getting a little dry and maybe dying in our area, and she was outside dancing with the water hose, spraying it around her head like this, dancing in the yard. And I was like, good for her. So that's the thing I saw today. I don't know. The CGI in the first half of No Way Home was rough. Yeah, I'm not saying the movie's perfect. I'm just saying if I had to go back and rewatch a movie with Spider-Man in it, I'd probably just fast forward to the last hour of Spider-Man No Way Home. Logo Face says, No Way Home could have been so much better had it been directed by someone else. It felt like Walmart made it. Yeah, kind of. Well, keep in mind, they made most of that during COVID, so it had some issues. Which flavor of wings do you get? When it comes to wings, I'm kind of a weirdo, man. I kind of like the more dry rub style wings. I like when they're not super saucy. I like a more dry wing. I know it's weird, but it just tastes better to me. It tastes like healthier. It tastes more like what our Neanderthal ancestors would have ate if they could have went to a place like Wingstop. But we always get the little corn cob things, seasoned fries. I don't actually use a lot of ranch or anything with my wings. I eat my wings without ranch. I know. Am I crazy? Maybe. I don't know. But I get the habanero. I get like the teriyaki flavor. I'm trying to remember what other flavors I get. We get hot honey. I think those are a couple that we get, yeah. Okay. Bucketeer, we already answered this. Let's see. Point Break is back on in theaters August. Yeah, I still got the 4K of Point Break. I have not got around to watching yet, so maybe I'll just watch that. No Way Home sucked. Sam Raimi will never be topped. I'd rather watch 3 than No Way Home. I love Sam Raimi's first 2 Spider-Man movies. The third one sucked. I guess I was saying that in reference to if I had to pick a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie is what I was trying to say. No buffalo? Buffalo is such a typical flavor for hot wings. I like to get something a little different. I've eaten so many buffalo wings in my life. I got to switch it up. Jason Nelson. Jason, did you have a super chat that I missed, man? I answered your question. If you had another one, type it in the normal chat right now. I'm looking. Type away, buddy, because I don't see another one from you. I think I answered it, though. Just type away your question right now. I will find it. Lemon pepper. Yeah, lemon pepper's good. Lemon pepper steppers. I like buffalo. I do. I've had it so many times. I like to get slightly different flavors. You give me a buffalo wing, I'll eat it. That's all I'm saying. What's up, John? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good, man. We're having a good time talking about movies tonight. I missed you guys. I missed the last live show, but it's only because I was so busy. And I had my 20-year high school reunion last Friday. That's why I didn't do a live show, which was kind of weird. You go back and look at all these people that you went to high school with, and it's nice to see them, but you're probably not going to talk to them again for like another 20 years. It's kind of a weird phenomenon. It's so weird getting old. But it was a good time. Dustin Rich says, X-Men 97 Season 2 is as good as the first season so far. That's awesome, man. I'll have to check it out. I don't think I finished the last episode in X-Men 97. I know. Shame on me. Garlic Parmesan's good, but I don't go out of my way to get it when it comes to wings. I like dry rub too, if you know what I mean. Absolutely. A little more friction for the pushing. Sorry, we're talking about wings. Let's not be weird, man. But I agree with you. Mango habaneros. Oh yeah, put that on my tongue. I'll put it in my eyeballs. I want it. John, did you like take and bake pizza? Jason Nelson's question. I never really was a big fan of take and bake pizza because listen, if I'm going to pay for a pizza, I don't want to have to go home and cook it myself. If I'm going to cook pizza myself, I'll buy a frozen pizza. So I was never a big fan. I never liked the concept of take and bake pizza. Does it still even exist? Does anyone use that? Why would you? Did you sign autographs for your classmates? No, but a handful of them did tell me that they watch my stuff. Like some people told me that they watch my YouTube videos over the years that I never would have imagined. So that's kind of cool, I guess. Are you going to watch Crystal Lake this fall on Peacock? If Jason Voorhees actually shows up, yes. Yeah, I would like to see a cool Jason series. Hopefully they do it justice. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the live show right there. I want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight, talking about movies. If you haven't already, if you want to see my first reaction out in the parking garage after watching Spider-Man Brand New Day, check that out. It's over on the FlickPick channel. I will have a spoiler video up, hopefully tomorrow, talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day. And I will probably upload the review I did today as a standalone review of Spider-Man Brand New Day. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys next week with a brand new live show talking all about movies. have a good night, stay safe, and go see Spider-Man this weekend if you want to. You don't have to. And let me shoot a little of my web at your face before I go. There you go. All right, guys, take care. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.